Hey everyone, so this is section 11.2 to Way ANOVA, question number 8. All right, so we are conducting an experiment here that to study the extrusion process of a biodegradable packaging foam. All right, so two factors are considered here: the temperatures, which is 145, 155, versus the diameter, which is 3 millimeters versus 4 millimeters. All right, obviously I have no idea what this question is talking about, so extrusion process whatsoever. All right, you are not expected neither to understand it. All right, so what we know there are two factors, and the two factors are temperature versus diameter, right? I downloaded already the table, and the table is coming this format. So you will need to do some work on this table. So this format is not good for processing it on Excel. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just copy it, start modifying it. So I have to do it in a certain fashion way, right? Okay, so I'm going to put the temperature here down and the diameter here, and I'm going to do another. I would need another diameters, right? Okay, so the temperature, the first temperature we have is 145 degrees, and the diameters we have 3 millimeters and versus the 4 millimeters. Okay, and you can tell here the number of replication is about 6. All right, so 3's and then 4, 6 times, right? So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna copy this one and I'm gonna paste it on the 7th, right? And change it to 155. So I have two-dimension table right now. One is giving me the diameter 3 and 4. The other one is giving me the temperature 145 and 155. All right, so you can see here the 145 and the 3's, right? So this is gonna be, I'm gonna take it and put it on the first one. So this row and this diameter, they are 3 and 145. Okay, so you cross them over. This one is a 4 and 145, so I'm gonna select them and put them in 4 and 145. And the same thing I'm gonna do with this. So 3 and 155, that's gonna be right here, and this is gonna be 4 and 155. So you're going to be right here, and there you go. So this is the table that you want, right? So I don't need the other one, so I can select it and delete it. Great. So now I can run my data analysis, which I go to data analysis. I'm going to select 2-factor ANOVA with replication, say OK. Select the table. So this is my table here. All right, including the labels, including the title, temperature and diameter, right? And then make sure you put here the rows per sample are 6, and that's going to be this number, right? So let me put it. I cannot, but you're going to be here. That's from 145 to 155. There are 6 replications. All right, and I'm gonna set the alpha 0.05. that's default, is not really important, but the output range is gonna be, I think, this one. And I believe on the exercise it was 001, so let me go again. No, 005 is fine. Okay, run the test. I get the table. Let me have a better view. Okay, and I'm interested for now with ANOVA. all right, this part here. All right, so let's start. The first one here is asking you about the interaction, whether there is interaction or not. And according to your book, just let me grab the formula. Okay, so according to your book here, there are three tests: factor A, factor B, and interaction. And on the exercise, it's starting with the interaction. So the hypothesis is 0 for the interaction is the interaction between A and B equals to 0. So this is no interaction. All right, so H1 will be the interaction between A and B is not equal to 0. So there is an interaction. So what you want to look here for the statement, you want to look for H0, no interaction, and H1, there is an interaction. All right, and the statement here that will work for you, no interaction, don't choose any negative interaction or positive interaction. So those are trying to mislead you. All right, interaction, no interaction, sorry, or no interaction in H0, and H1, there is an interaction. And that's going to be A, right? So there is no interaction between the temperature and the diameter, and here there is an interaction, and that should be your correct choice. Okay, great. So now they are asking you about the F statistics, all right? And that should be on Excel. So before going there, you need to make sure that you are using this part. All right, so you can see it, interaction, and what you want to choose, you want to choose the F value, copy it and paste it, round it to 2 decimals, and that should be it. Now they're asking about the p-value. P-value just next to it. Again, copy and paste around 3 decimals. Good. All right, so for the conclusion here, you are comparing the p-value with alpha. Remember, the alpha is 0.05, the p-value is 0.07. So definitely the p-value is greater, right? So if this will be my alpha, which is 0.05, okay, the p-value right now is greater. So if it is greater, the tail is gonna be bigger. So this is gonna be my p-value, all right, this shaded area. And because it's bigger, so we care about the ending point over here, right? So this is what we call, by the way, the F stat. All right. So because the F stat is falling in this region, the no rejection of H0, so you are not rejecting H0, and you're gonna go with H0, which means no interaction. Remember, your H0 is no interaction. All right, there is no interaction. Okay, so now the p-value obviously is greater than alpha. Here, do not reject H0, and if you don't reject, always insufficient evidence. All right, so conclusion, no interaction. We might need this later on in the conclusion, so keep it in mind. All right, so let's check it. Good. So that's all for the interaction. Now we are moving on to factor A, or the temperature for us. All right, so again, let me grab the conclusion. Okay, so for factor A, which is the temperature, so what we get here, we are right in this sentence over here. You can see it. No difference due to factor A. So no difference, it is the same statement as this one. So this is no difference or no effect. And this is H0, H1, you're gonna say there is an effect. an effect. Okay, the values right now, you should get them from Excel. So let's go back to Excel. Yeah, I didn't select this one. So for this one, the best choice it will be there is no effect because all the means are equals, and there is an effect due to temperature, and that will be your choice, right? So you check it, we good, and we're gonna do the same thing, the F statistics. So F statistic will be from here. So always remember that the sample is basically the rows, all right? And what we have on the rows on the table, so we have temperature. Do you see the first row and the second row? All right, we consider everything in here is one row, all right, and we consider everything in here and second row, all right. So for the sample, this is the temperature, and the columns are going to be the diameter, right? Okay, so again, we're going to go to the sample, we're going to grab the F value, copy it and paste it, round it to 2 decimal places. All right, good. P value is same thing, and you want to round it to 3 decimal places, should be fine. All right, the conclusion right now, again, P value is greater than the alpha. Greater than alpha, again, you are supposed to do not reject. Do not reject, and do not reject, it means insufficient evidence. So we did not reject. What does mean? There is no effect due to temperature, and probably we should take note of this. Okay, I just added note here, no interaction, no effect due to temperature, and then I'm going right now to effect B, right? So we are studying this sentence over here. So we are studying the effect of B, no factor, right? Now, again, the same thing. So 80, all the means are equals. It means no effect due to diameter. And for H1, there is an effect. And the best choice would be there is no effect, there is an effect, no effect, an effect. That's C again, right? Okay. The F statistic, you can get it from Excel, and that's going to be the columns, all right? And this row over here. Okay, so the F value is going to be this one. All right, copy it, paste it, and 2 decimal places. Good. The p-value as well, and round it to 3 decimal places, and that's good. All right, so we're gonna do the conclusion. So let me go to the chart. Okay. So my alpha is right here, the white space. All right, you're gonna keep going forever, right? And this is gonna be 0.05. Now my p-value is 0.006, which is even smaller than 0.05, right? And you're gonna be somewhere that the area again, right? And the area is gonna be on the tail, which is this one, right? The blue part. And this is gonna be my p-value, which is 0.006. So now we care again about the end of the p-value, and that should be this point over here, and that point over there is called the f-stat. Okay, so now do you see the f-stat is falling in a rejection zone? All right, so we are rejecting A0, and that's all what you need to do, right? So either you're comparing the p-values, all right, so the conclusion here, always remember p-value less than alpha, this reject A0. So if you reject A0, you are disagreeing with no effect. So you are disagreeing with no effect, all right? And you're agreeing with there is an effect. And do you have sufficient evidence? Yes, we do sufficient evidence, right? Okay, so let's put this conclusion here. The p-value is less, so we reject, and we have evidence. Great. So I want to bring your attention again to the conclusion again, and the conclusion here, there is an effect due to the diameter, right? Okay. Now, the next question, you want to graph the chart of the mean of densities, right? Temperature and diameter, right? So the way to do this, you will need to go the upper side of the table, all right? And you can see here we have the diameters are basically the columns, and here the temperatures, they are the rows. And we care only about the averages, right? So we care only about these values here, and I'm going to highlight them, right? So now please don't mix these values because they are the total, and these values as well, they are the total, all right? You can see it here. So only these 4 values, that's it, 4 averages. All right, so how can we proceed with this? Let me start. You're gonna go to insert, you're gonna go to add a chart, that's 2D chart, the first one, and then you're gonna right click and go to select data. So in selecting the data here, you're gonna add a series, all right? And the first one that you're gonna add the diameter 3. I'm selecting it there, it's fine. And then I'm gonna input the values, and wherever you select the values, hold the control key. So holding the control key, I'm selecting the 3 diameters, the 3 millimeter diameter, all right? And that's it. Once I select them, I release the control and say okay. That's the first line. I add another line. Again, this is going to be the 4 diameter, and then I'm going to go with this, and I'm going to select these 2 values. So hold the control key, select the first one, and select the second one. Okay, so if you want to edit here the horizontal axis, you can, and the horizontal axis is going to be 2 temperature. Basically, you can use the control key again. So the die for 45, and then the die for 155, and you are set. So you see here, this is the side of 145 degree, and this is 155 degrees. All right. Okay. So having this chart here, I think this is the best choice, and we can check it. We're good. All right, now we're gonna do a conclusion on general, right? So we have at the 0.05 level of significance, there is, all right, they are talking about temperature here, all right? So maybe you wanna bring these statements, all right? So the temperature, there is no effect. So what you're gonna say here, there is a significant or not significant? Definitely not significant, no significant effect, all right? And then you're gonna go to the diameter, and we know there is an effect, right? So there is a significant effect. Okay, now this part, all right, so you have to read this chart. So it's about reading this chart. And remember, the top one is the 3 millimeter diameter, and the bottom one is the 4. All right, either you read it from there or Excel, it's up to you. Okay, so what we have here, we are talking about 3 millimeters, all right? And what we see, those are the options. It seems to be higher at 155, they are about the same, or higher at 145. Or we see the blue one is higher, definitely at temperature 155. So we're going to say is higher, is not the same. All right, it's higher at 155 degrees. All right, now they are talking about the 4 millimeter, which is the orange one. All right, and the orange one, it doesn't seem to be higher. Well, it seems to be about the same. All right, it's not big difference. It's about the same. All right, so it's almost horizontal line. And the interaction right now, we can go back to that conclusion that we got. We know there is no interaction. All right, so this interaction, all right, this interaction is significant or not. Since there is no interaction, so it's not significant. All right, and that's it. I think we are all set. All right, I hope this helped.